everyone, welcome back. If you're curious about how offshore platforms safely produce the energy that powers our world, then you're in the right place. Today, I'll take you behind the scenes to show you exactly how an offshore oil platform works. We're about to follow crude oil from deep beneath the ocean floor all the way through the platform's production system. And you'll see the incredible engineering, technology, and teamwork that make it all possible. Let's get started.
Long before an offshore platform ever rises above the ocean, before helicopters land on the helideck, before engineers arrive for their shift, the story begins thousands of meters beneath the seabed. Hidden beneath layers of rock, sand, and ancient sediment, lie enormous reservoirs of crude oil and natural gas. These resources were not created overnight. They formed over millions of years. Long before humans existed, tiny marine organisms settled on the ocean floor. As generations passed, their remains became buried beneath layers of mud and sand. Over immense periods of time, heat and pressure transformed this organic material into hydrocarbons, the oil and natural gas that power much of the modern world today. But these resources do not exist in giant underground lakes. Instead, they occupy microscopic spaces within porous rock formations. Imagine a giant sponge buried deep beneath the seabed. Its tiny pores are filled with oil, natural gas, and formation water. Above these reservoirs lies an impermeable layer of rock, known as the cap rock. This natural seal prevents the hydrocarbons from escaping to the surface. Finding these reservoirs is one of the greatest challenges in the oil and gas industry. Before a single well is drilled, teams of geologists and geophysicists spend years studying the earth beneath the ocean. Using advanced seismic surveys, they send sound waves deep into the seabed. As the sound waves bounce back from different rock layers, powerful computers build detailed three-dimensional images of the underground formations. These images allow experts to identify structures that may contain commercially viable oil and gas reservoirs. But even with today's advanced technology, there are no guarantees. An offshore exploration well may cost hundreds of millions of dollars, yet there is always the possibility that no recoverable oil will be found. Only after careful geological analysis, economic evaluation, environmental studies, and extensive planning does the decision to drill finally take shape. Because every successful offshore platform begins with one question: is there enough oil beneath the ocean floor to make the journey worthwhile? The decision has been made. Years of geological research, seismic surveys, and engineering studies have confirmed that valuable hydrocarbons lie deep beneath the seabed. Now comes one of the most complex operations in the offshore oil and gas industry: drilling the well. From the surface, the drilling rig appears calm and controlled. But beneath the drill floor, an extraordinary engineering process is underway. A powerful rotary drilling system begins turning the drill string, a long series of heavy steel pipes connected together. At the very bottom, a specially designed drill bit slowly cuts through solid rock. Meter by meter, the well becomes deeper, hundreds of meters, then thousands. Eventually, the drill passes through the seabed and continues toward the targeted reservoir. But drilling is far more complicated than simply making a hole in the ground. As the drill bit cuts through the rock, it generates enormous amounts of heat. Fragments of crushed rock, known as drill cuttings, must also be removed continuously. To solve both challenges, engineers pump drilling mud down through the drill string. This specially engineered fluid cools the drill bit, carries rock cuttings back to the surface, stabilizes the well, and helps control the immense pressures deep underground. Without drilling mud, the well could quickly become unstable. As drilling progresses, steel casing is lowered into the well. The casing acts like the backbone of the well, preventing the surrounding rock from collapsing inward. Once the casing is in place, Cement is pumped into the space between the casing and the surrounding formation. This creates a permanent seal, isolating different underground layers, protecting groundwater, and strengthening the integrity of the well for decades of production. This process is repeated several times. Each new section of the well becomes slightly smaller than the last. Each layer adds another level of protection. Safety has always been the highest priority. One of the most important pieces of equipment on any offshore drilling operation sits directly above the wellhead, the Blowout Preventer, commonly known as the BOP. This massive hydraulic safety system weighs hundreds of tons. Its purpose is simple, but absolutely critical. If pressure inside the well suddenly becomes uncontrollable, the Blowout Preventer can seal the well within seconds, preventing oil and gas from escaping uncontrollably. It is considered the final barrier between the reservoir and a potentially catastrophic blowout. Every function of the BOP is tested regularly. Every valve, every hydraulic system, and every emergency control is inspected according to strict international standards. Only after months of careful drilling, constant monitoring, pressure testing, and engineering verification does the drill finally reach the oil-bearing reservoir thousands of meters beneath the ocean floor. For the first time, the pathway between the underground reservoir and the offshore platform has been created. But reaching the oil is only the beginning. The next challenge is bringing it safely to the surface. The well has been drilled. The pathway has been created. Now the oil begins its journey to the surface, deep beneath the seabed. Enormous natural pressure pushes crude oil and natural gas upward through the production tubing. At the seabed, every well is controlled by a system of valves known as the Christmas tree. These valves regulate the flow, monitor pressure, and allow engineers to safely control production at any time. As the fluids arrive on the offshore platform, they are far from ready for export. The production stream is a mixture of crude oil, natural gas, water, and other impurities. Inside large processing vessels called separators, these fluids are carefully divided. Oil moves to treatment systems, where remaining water is removed. Natural gas is compressed for export or used to power the platform. Produced water is cleaned to meet strict environmental standards before discharge. Every stage is monitored around the clock by sophisticated control systems. Thousands of sensors continuously measure pressure, temperature, flow rates, and gas concentrations. If anything moves outside safe operating limits, automatic safety systems respond immediately. Once the crude oil has been processed and tested, powerful export pumps transfer it through subsea pipelines or into shuttle tankers waiting offshore. From there, its journey continues to refineries around the world, where it becomes gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, plastics, and countless everyday products. A journey that began millions of years beneath the ocean floor now helps power modern life across the globe. When people look at an offshore platform, they often see steel, towering cranes, massive machinery, and complex engineering. But the true strength of every offshore installation is its people. Hundreds of skilled professionals work together around the clock to keep production running safely. Control room operators monitor every process from a central control room. Process operators inspect equipment across the platform. Mechanical, electrical, and instrumentation technicians maintain the systems that keep the platform operating. Crane operators safely move heavy equipment. Safety officers identify hazards before they become accidents. Medics stand ready for emergencies. Even the catering team plays an important role, ensuring every worker is prepared for long shifts offshore. Every task follows strict procedures. Every worker receives continuous training. Every emergency drill prepares the crew for situations they hope will never face. Because offshore safety is never an afterthought. It is built into every decision, every inspection, every permit, every toolbox talk, every barrel of oil produced begins with one commitment: to protect people, to protect the environment, and to ensure that every person who arrives offshore returns safely home. Behind every offshore platform, behind every successful operation, and behind every barrel of oil is a team of dedicated professionals whose knowledge, discipline, and teamwork keep the world moving. That is the real story of offshore production.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's documentary and learned something new about the incredible world of offshore engineering. Tell me in the comments what engineering or technology topic you'd like to explore next. I'd love to hear your ideas. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves engineering and technology. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next documentary.